You're listening to the Bathtub Refinishing Podcast.
Powered by BathTubGuys Refinishing. We discuss the refinishing industry, interview owners and operators, and give tips to business owners and entrepreneurs. Now, here's your host, Daniel Montalvo.
All right, guys, we're back for round 3. And we broke the cigars out, so you know it's a good conversation.
We brought out the stogies. Thank you to the cigar room in Zephyr Hills, Florida.
Yeah, man.
Shout out.
They always, supply this with the goods, So where were we?
Yeah, I don't know. Where were
I
we?
forgot what we were talking about.
Well, right now we were talking about termites. Yeah, but
Let's talk marketing. I want to hear what you got going on with SEO, because you mentioned that you're not doing any paid advertisement right now, and how that's working for you, and what your intentions are for the future, because that's something that me and Danny pretty much rack our brains on every single day, is constant marketing strategies and brand development.
So, let's see. I actually have a meeting next week when I get back to Indianapolis. The value packs that come in the mail. You can target specific zip codes. The Val pack.
I've done them. They work really well in the villages because there's a certain demographic that still reads the mail. If they're too young, they'll just ignore it. But if anything above like 55, they're still opening Val pack and the reason I got that idea was my dad was a Val pack guy. When he was a homeowner and all that stuff, he would get the Val pack and look through it. I'm not looking through Val pack, straight up. I don't go to my mailbox and see that and open it up.
But you know what? It, like you said, it can help get you in front of your ideal customer.
It works. It's just a demographic you want to target.
Thing, yeah.
I've noticed that the older generation, Val pack I was successful with Val pack in the villages particularly.
Okay, so it's worth giving it a shot.
Yeah, just
particularly in the more affluent neighborhoods.
Correct. Higher age demographics, and typically, that's most of the homeowners, anyways.
What else is in the works? I was gonna look into doing at least 2 trade shows next year. So one of them is there's an apartment association trade show. A guy was talking to me about.
Is it the AAPCO, whatever?
The Indiana Apartment Association. Okay. And I think that's in November, and the Indiana Home Show is in, I think, January.
Those things are good to go to.
And Miracle Method and CDH or CDL, they're out a pretty good-sized company. They're out of Lafayette, Indiana. Both of those guys have representation there, and so I checked on the cost on the booth, and they're not crazy. So I mean, just like you were saying, you can be busy next year in January if you if you want to be. It's controllable.
Those things are exactly those things. That all stemmed from that post that I was telling you about, where these guys were complaining about not being busy. And I remember he was talking to me, asking me, and I was like, "Look, we're busy." I was like, "If you're not right now, make some moves so that this time next year you are busy." Because all these guys, they were like, well, I'm not busy either. Like, glad I'm not the only one. Like, laughing about not being busy. It's just like, okay, instead of doing something about it.
It's controllable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
I like
is.
the trade shows and stuff. Like,
those things are cool.
It's fun for me. I was on Daniel.
We're doing one this year. Here's the thing. I meant to talk to you about it. Good as time as any. We need to do the build out of that fake bathroom I was telling you about.
Let's go.
So Danny from Alliance has a fake bathroom. It literally is a bathroom, like entire, with a vanity sink, tub, tile. It's decorated with wallpaper and everything. And he takes it to these trade shows. It's like rollable. And what he does is he only has half of it refinished throughout the whole thing. It is so cool. And he gave me the idea of like we should do one with our stuff.
I was thinking we do a split booth. Half PSG cabinets, half bathtub guys, and we do like exact same situation. Cabinet-wise, all of the vanities will be refinished half. You know what I mean? The countertops will be refinished half. Bathtub and tile refinished half. And we can brand both businesses, within the same cost of one booth. No brainer.
That is so cool because what it does is it's kind of like a a real life before and after picture. It's
Yeah.
right in front of their face. And the thing is, people can visualize it better when they see the whole room, like the whole bathroom, and what it does to the space.
You know who else does a really good job I've seen on Instagram with their trade shows? I'm gonna look him up real quick. It's Surface Revival.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of this stuff.
I've seen some of his trade show setups, and they're pretty good.
And so as far as advertising right now, you're just doing primarily, you have really good SEO. That's what you said.
Exactly.
SEO gets you like to a really good point. SEO is very, very important because that's going to be your organic searches.
Yeah.
And so you want to get organic reach. Obviously, it's the best low-hanging fruit kind of a thing. I always recommend Google Ads. It's a little hard to learn, but it is good.
I have Google Ads that's just on pause. I blew through a lot of unnecessary
Ad spend.
initially. I was using Angie's List. Let's talk about what not to do. I spent tons of money on. I burned through so much capital with
what's
Angie's
funny?
List, and it's trash.
Angie's
Complete
List
trash.
Angie's List literally just uses Google Ads. What a fucking business tactic. It's like,
right.
I'm going to sell you guys leads by using my competitor. Crazy.
That's crazy.
But
that's pretty much what they all do.
that is, yeah.
Yeah, because they brand the platform,
Exactly.
and then you just have access to the contractors.
So Google Ads is really easy to waste money. It's also easy to make a lot of money. You got to put some time into thinking. You have to, first of all, you got to learn the platform. It's one of those things that a lot of these guys are like, oh, I don't get leads on Google Ads. I'm like, bro, you got to really study and learn the platform. Google is intent-based. I always say this. They're intending to search for something. If they're intending to search for something, that means that they kind of already know what to expect to an extent. This is not a cold lead, right? This isn't someone who heard about it from a friend and has no idea how it works. This isn't like they saw a Facebook before and after picture. Like, these are people who already know that it exists because they searched it. So you have to approach those kinds of leads a little differently. But Google Ads is fantastic when you learn the platform. You learn like what like how to target the keywords correctly, how to add those negative keywords to make sure you're only coming out for stuff that's relevant, how to really hone in the ad on what your ideal client is like. You can get a lot out of it. The budget we run right now, we're running a $300 a day budget. It doesn't always spend that. Just letting you know.
Oh, $300 a day.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't always spend that amount, but it can. But when it does, if you have a really honed in campaign, when it spends the $300, you're noticing it. Like, you get calls, bro. Like, so I have 4 guys right now, and a sub, and I give overflow work to Jonathan.
Yeah.
We're booked until like the last week of March.
No, and it's a whole different type of client.
Yeah,
Because that was part of our partnership. Was I had crews, I had experience in the field, but I was having trouble generating organic lead gen because of the learning curve through Google Ads. And I was in a position where I didn't want to outsource the Google Ads, because then I was never going to get an understanding of how to manipulate the Google Ads myself, because if you outsource it, then you're pretty much at the mercy of
whoever's
the
running
third-party agency.
Yep.
So we partnered, and what we did is we replicated his ad structure and just changed the location. And what we learned is that for some fucking reason, ad spend in Tampa is cheaper than ad spend in Orlando with a replicated ad strategy. That's how weird it gets with Google Ads. Like, it can change depending on demographics, like where you're advertising. Because, like, he was telling me, how much was your cost per click compared to Tampa?
Cost per click is low. It's the cost for conversion.
I'm
So
sorry. Cost for conversion.
Conversion cost is what it actually cost cost you to get someone to take an action. You decide what the action is. It could be a form on your website. It could be that they click the link. That you can make that a conversion, but you don't want that. You want to know, like, that the conversion is that they did something. So usually, like, we have it, it's behind our form, our website form. Mm-hmm. So we get the leads through our email, and every single time that happens through one of our ads, we know that it came from an ad. His was like $60. Mine was like $110
Per conversion,
which is high. It is high. Now, I don't doubt that we can hone that down a little bit. Like, but here's the thing: you want to have enough understanding of the platform where you can sound off the red flag in your head to be like, that doesn't seem right. So that right now I'm reaching out to some a company, the ones that actually did our website, to have them kind of look over my Google Ads. You should never have any other company fully running all your ads, because then you are beholden to them, bro. If they change the system and they're like, hey, we could fix it, but you might need to put some more ad spend. How do you know if they're telling the truth or not? You don't, unless you understand the platform. If you see that you're getting more leads, but they're spending twice the amount of money, it's like, well, no fucking shit. It's if they really are understanding how to calibrate the keywords properly, how to hone in, how to focus your campaign.
And we noticed that no one does because our industry's so niche.
It is, yeah.
I've seen a couple guys on the Contractor Networks group that they specialize in bathtub refinishing, SEO and Google ads campaigns. I've never reached out to any of them, but if it'd be good to have one of them
probably
who market themselves as true professionals to come on the pod.
Yeah, it would be good.
And discuss like, okay, well, why? What do you do that makes it stand out in our niche?
But and that's a good point. Like, you got to talk to people to really understand Google Ads. You got to ask people, bro.
So
I can feel a difference if the Google ad is up, but I don't know how to monitor the conversion. So, how do I know it's coming from Google versus?
You need a website person to help you with that, man.
Yeah, your website's the only way to track. That's why I was struggling. I wasted so much. I was spending money.
You're basically throwing money into the dark. You don't know where it's going.
You don't know if you're getting a return or not.
And it might feel like it, but it might just be that more people are organically searching and you're not getting anything. So that's why you need to search up somebody to do conversion tracking for you, to set it up with your Google Ads.
Who set your website up?
Yeah.
I'd have to check. They were a company out of Idaho.
So do you have access to the back end of your website, or do they have rights to the domain and all that?
They don't have rights to the domain. I own the domain, but okay. I don't know any
because that's what it is that if your website isn't structured to convert, then you'll never know. Because then you're just paying for the click, and the thing is, anyone can click.
But if they're not taking action, it doesn't matter. Your website.
That's a conversation I need to have with my website guy.
Exactly. I'm looking at their job.
This is your website?
Yes.
All right. One thing I'm going to tell you right now. Everything looks good. The only thing I would change is right here underneath the call now button should be a form on your home page.
Could you pull that up on that TV or no? Because I think, this is a conversation that a lot of refinishers, we could analyze. It'd be cool to analyze BTG's site.
Yep. I'll show all my emails real quick. Take that off of here. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull it up just so you could see what I'm talking about.
This is good stuff right here. A lot of people don't like any constructive criticism because they're like, they take it personally. And
it's not personal because, we went through this. Danny learned all this stuff through trial and error, and we actually just rebought my domain to completely redo our site for cabinets because of the same struggles everyone's having with converting ad spend into quality organic leads. But once you do start receiving those quality organic leads, you're not bidding. It's not a race to the bottom for the bid because they're considering you as the go-to person for this service.
Let me also throw something else in there. Google cares about this. Regardless of what anybody will tell you, they care that your website is tracking conversions. You know why? Because if you convert more, you pay them more. If your website does not have a conversion tracking set up on it, your Google ad will perform worse. So, because if you're throwing money in the dark, then you might not necessarily think Google's a good fit, and you're going to stop using the platform. They know it. That's why they recommend it. So, your website, everything looks good. Honestly, it
looks nice.
It looks good. I would just write that. I would keep the call now button because that's still in action. So whenever you do set up conversion tracking, I would set up a conversion action that's for calls. So you know who went through the ad and then went on my homepage and clicked the call now button. You know exactly who did that. And then I would set up another one. I would put a form right underneath. Simple. First, last name, and what you want done. And a zip code. All right? And then put that right underneath. What that's going to do is your front page is essentially going to be acting as a landing page. There's two different ways to go about it. You could either do what I'm saying here, or you can reach out to that company and have them make you a dedicated landing page, which is also great. A landing page, what it does for you is that it gives the customer a very limited ability of action. So they're going to click the ad, and it's going to be, you've probably hit a landing page before. It says the name of the company, a little bit about what they do, and then it has a form. That's all you can do on the page. What that does is it incentivizes people to just put their information in and you reach out. You get way more leads that way. Because the people can't go through your gallery. That you're not allowing them to talk themselves out of it.
Yeah, you're forcing them.
Okay, so would you set it up so it's a landing page with a call to action, but it's the first page, or would that be a dedicated?
I do
page?
both actually. So I'm gonna show you mine.
Well, it depends on.
I have a Bathtub
right?
Guys
So
button.
yeah, like if that when you click, if you Googled Bathtub Guys right now and a sponsored ad came up, it would and he clicked it, it would show you his landing page. It wouldn't be this page, and
This is our regular page. Okay, so it has this. So you go down. It's right here.
Why's your thing all messed up like that?
What?
Scroll up. Full service warranty.
I don't know. It's probably because of the
Format.
that's the format on the TV.
Okay.
But basically here, you see how the form is right there? Somebody comes on this page and they're probably going to put their information in. It's easier. Also, like I said, the call thing is cool. I have one up here. They click that, it'll automatically call us. So it's
like when you're on your phone, that's important.
you just are, what you're trying to do is reduce friction. You don't want you want to dumb it down, bro. You want to dumb it down because people are, they're looking for you already. So if that's the case, what you want is people who are going to, they're going to go ahead and they're going to take an action. That's what you want. So take an action on your site. Let me see if I can get this thing right here. I think that TV thing.
So I was thinking about implementing this for one reason. I refer to it as dealing with the general population, Gen Pop. They'll just email me pictures, and I have no idea where they are.
That's why that form is so important. It forces them to put some key critical information.
The remote.
Exactly.
The TV's frozen, but it's okay.
So,
see if I can turn
they
off
just send pictures. Well, Indiana is like Florida in the sense that it's a long state, so I can't go all the way to Evansville, right? It'd be 4 hours out.
Yeah, that's another thing too. So when you're saying you're getting people out of your service area,
Yes.
okay, you need to hone in.
Or it could be my service area. I just would price it differently if
Okay.
it's an hour and a half away.
So what I do, I'll show you a little bit of that too. Let me get this display back up though, because it froze for some reason, but it's okay. We're doing a lot right now. So yeah, the computer is pushing itself.
Yeah, we're recording live.
Yeah.
Screen sharing.
All right. I got this back up. So this is what our landing page looks like. All right. When somebody goes and they click one of our ads, this is all that they see.
You see how you can't hit the gallery page. You
You
can't
can
hit
see
the services.
it has a
tab.
little bit of information, but everything leads to a call to action. When they click this, it pops up the website for them. Let's see if it does. There you go.
Okay. So it starts at that landing page, but you can't get to any.
That's when you click on
On
a
our ad.
sponsored ad on
Yep.
Google. So when you do a Google search and you see those first 3 ads that pop up that say sponsored in the top hand corner, the 90% of those ads are going to lead to a landing site. Now, after those ads, you get the organic search.
Yep.
The organic search will lead you to an actual website.
Which is like how we pulled up yours. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so anything coming through here, you're gonna know that was good.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now he can track his conversions.
And I can track it from both. So the entire act of them doing something on the form, I know I could tell if they did it from my website or if they did it from the landing page. You want to know that, because if the landing page, you're only supposed to use the landing page for ads. That way, you know that came from an advertisement. And you know that the website form, that whatever came in from organic is organic. So you can kind of compare the two. And that also helps you, okay, maybe I don't need to advertise as much this week. Or maybe my SEO is so fucking good that I don't even need to do ads for a little while. Or just having the information. I know I'm getting 50 from here and 30 from there.
Okay. These are great nuggets, because when I was spending on ads before, I had to quit because
You don't know.
the SEO was good enough that I couldn't get to the phone anyway. Mm-hmm. But
Which is top priority though, because SEO is a greater return on investment. Okay. Like ad spend can get out of hand quickly.
Yep.
So like you really want to have organic, your SEO is on point, then you're generating organic leads just because your keywording and shit is optimized versus paid advertising.
let me see. I'm gonna search up Bathtub Refinishing locally.
But
here.
like Bathtub Refinishing in Orlando particularly is very competitive. So organic search in Orlando, you're gonna come up with at least 4 or 5 other companies.
oh, really?
Yeah, state of Florida is very dense with refinishers.
All right.
I mean, there's just so many. There's so many.
I'm wasting Miracle Methods.
Hotels, apartments, condos.
This is Miracle Method. This is their landing page. To me, this is too busy. If you're a customer and you just want someone to reach out to you, there's way too many options here. But even though it's busy, this is another style, right? It's information heavy, but look what's floating on the entire page. A website entry.
Yep.
So it's like you could take a look at it's basically like a little mini version of the site. This is what a lot of people call like a dynamic landing page. It's basically a mini website with a lot less information, but the priority is to get you to do that.
Yeah.
What the approach that I went with is simplicity. Little tiny bit of information, all one static page, no links, only my form or the call now button. And I can tell when it came from there. So I know that my ads are working, and I know what I'm paying for. And you really want that.
Yeah, this is great. So I knew I was going to have to start doing advertising again, particularly if I get a new hire, hire another person in the next couple months. But I was throwing money blindly at it.
And then you don't have to do it yourself either.
You
just don't want to relinquish all rights. So you have to stay active. If you are going to hire, you have to stay active in the ad development process. Yeah. Because you can get I'm a personal victim of the shit. Yeah. Which is like if you allow a third party agency to have full control when you're not seeing the conversion and you want to back out, now they have control over all of your shit.
So should I be asking my web developer to let me in the back?
Correct.
Yes, and you want to learn. So this is to the extent of what they should do in the beginning is set up the tracking for you, right? So there's a thing called Google Analytics. You good? Okay. There's a thing called Google Analytics. What Google Analytics is essentially it has access to the back end of your website, and you set up what you want Google to take to analyze for you. So you tell Google, like, these are conversion actions that I want you to track. And it's everything from where people, if someone clicked on the homepage, if they click on the gallery, you get to see how people are navigating your website. So you can optimize for that. But what you do through analytics also is set up those conversion actions. So they would do that for you. And then that way, every single time someone's on your website, you know that where these things are coming from.
Or would my web designer just send me a report monthly and say X amount came from the ad?
That you could
X amount came organically.
You could do that. The website already has to be set up for tracking, though. But I'm of the mindset that even though it's a little bit of a bitch and a pain in the ass, you want to learn the platform as much as you can. Up until the point where like, hey, like I could run it myself and do okay. I know you're going to do better than me because you're an expert, but you don't want to rely 100% on a third-party agency, man. Because like he said...
No, I control the Google Analytics. It's just as far as, you have your landing page where it hits.
Yeah, you should have them make one for you.
I should have access to that
Exactly.
personally. Is what
Exactly.
you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, just so that you can make sure that, you're seeing the numbers and stuff too. Because, you could have them send you a report, but again, if you don't have access to the back end, how do you know they're telling the truth? Maybe they might say, oh, your ads weren't doing as good as they could have been, put some more money into it, and then you start wasting money. I'm going to pull up my Google Analytics here real quick, and then I'll show you. Everything good?
Yep, just doing some business stuff.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to pull my Google Analytics so you could see like all the traffic that's gone into our website. I'm going to pull it up on my computer first, and then I'll transfer it over. But yeah, man, the most important thing, in my opinion, is just making sure that you don't relinquish all the control, because it's really hard to trust people, man. Like people will lie to your face. They will tell you that some shit's not working even though it's working. They'll tell you that you need to spend more money and you really don't. And yeah, you don't want to. And like what happened to him? Explain to him what happened to you with your whole last website, people.
So when we first started the business, we went the typical route. We hired a third-party agency to develop a site and to handle all the SEO and stuff like that. Well, in the beginning, we ran into the issue with cash flow, and we were like, okay, well, now we're spending money, but we're not seeing results. And SEO is something that takes time to build, right? Obviously, you got to build a site. You have to optimize it and continue to run your ads, and it's a work in progress. Yeah. So when we decided to change our approach, we lost our domain, access to our domain. We lost access to our Google listing. So we had a duplicate Google listing, which is a red flag with Google, because they look at it as like you're trying to list your business multiple times. And then because we discontinued our service with them, we couldn't get it taken down. Mm-hmm. So you pretty much, you become trapped. And so before you even go down that route, avoid all of it. And the best way to do it is, but also if marketing's not your niche, which Daniel has a natural, knack for brand development, and he's really honed in on the Google ads and tracking the progress. Just find a company that's willing to do it for you, but educate you on the development, and willing to teach you how your ads are performing and why. Exactly. But most companies won't. So that's going to be a challenge in itself.
It's you just got to understand the data. You understand the data, then you know that that whatever they're doing is working or not. So right here is our Google Analytics. 2,000 new users in the last 30 days, 172 conversions. Those are people who sent us website inquiries. So people who sent us their first or last name, address, all that shit.
172 leads in 30 days.
Exactly. And 2,000 new users. That's good to know, because Google knows if somebody has gone to your website before. So if there's 2,000 new users, that means that 2,000 people who have never gone to BathTubGuys.com went last month.
Now, these figures can also vary depending on the demographics of your market. So Orlando's very dense.
So here's a breakdown of, and they know this because there's conversion tracking, paid search. So that's how many, that's how many you got on paid search. That's how many we got direct. That has organic social. So people who have clicked links through social media, people who directly typed it in. You could even break it down by video and stuff. We don't have any this month, but you could see like all this information is good to know.
And you got a couple guys in Europe.
Yeah, it's probably like a podcast related, honestly.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Somewhere in Africa.
Germany.
So yeah, it's just one of those things. It's a good little tool. And right here, event count, that means an event is anything that anybody clicks on your website. So in the last month, we've had 12,000, out of those people, the 2,000 new users, 12,000 actions were taken. So that works out to 10 fucking per person or something like that. There's the people who are going on the website, they might not have called. They're not a conversion. Obviously, there's a lot less conversions than the people who have come on the site, right? That's not bad though, because the important thing is that event number has gone up. What does that mean? The people are going through your site. They're clicking gallery. They're clicking contact. They're clicking the refinishing tab. They're educating themselves, and they're using your website to do it. So they might not be a customer today.
Which is also good too, because think about your ad spend, right? So you paid, because we converted our ad strategy to conversions, you didn't pay for 12,000 clicks.
Exactly.
You paid for 172 conversions. So that's why the cost per click model for something like Weed Local Home Service isn't as valuable as it would be for, say, a product,
Yeah.
or online store, because you can just any click, you could ship to any country a product. But we're looking for people who really have the need in our service area.
Yep. People who are willing to give us their info to reach out, which is a customer with intent. They have the intent to do so.
So the 172 conversions, that's clicking on the advertisement.
Those are 172 conversions
Forms that were
form
filled
submissions.
out. That's leads.
Physical leads. People who actually give us their info.
How does Google know?
So go back to your landing page, Danny,
Fuck.
if you can.
I'll go back to a second. The way Google knows is because when you set up a conversion action, sorry, I'm talking to the mic.
Your website.
When you set up those conversion actions, like I told you, they know the conversion actions is through Google. It's through Google Analytics.
Okay, so that needs to be added to my
Exactly.
website.
So
Gotcha.
there's a conversion action that's specific to your landing page. There's one that's specific to your home page. You can break it down even further. You could break it down to they click the form in the contact page.
And those 172, they submitted data.
Yep.
And
They're in
Google knows
First and last name, phone number, email address, zip code,
Yep.
and they're what they're looking to have done. So,
Yep.
in a true solid lead.
Yep. We know exactly what it is. Let's see.
That 12,000 you saw was how many people clicked on the site for any sort of event. And what he means by event is like, you're shopping around and you're clicking on people's sites, looking at their gallery.
Uh-huh.
Those are the events.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just people look. He had 12,000 people look at the site, and 172 people submitted an estimate request.
Yep.
So whatever percentage of it is, that's pretty much what you're converting.
So it was 2,000 people who came onto the site that were new, and out of those 2,000 people, 12,000 events happened.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
So that means that on average, out of 2,000 people, they each did about what 1,000,
I'm gonna look up
or
the percentage.
100.
real
My
quick.
bad. 10, something like that. I don't know. I'm not good at math.
I know. I'm just curious. Of 2,000, so that means that out of the 2,000, he had an 8.6% conversion rate to fill out that form.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why it's important that you do volume, because at the end of the day, if that's 172 leads in 30 days, we can't even do 172 jobs in 30 days.
Exactly.
So you don't even need to close 8.6%. You need to close like maybe 3%, 4% in order to get your whole crew busy for a month.
Which is about 50% of the leads coming in,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, just about. And that's our closing rate. Is
About 50%.
yeah.
I could probably say I think I closed like 70.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. With Bathtub Guys, because of how the lead comes in, our close rate is higher.
Yeah. Because what happens with us, and he hasn't seen it as much until recently. We'll have a customer say, "Hey, I want to get this done," and they'll say, "Okay, we'll agree on everything," and then a month later is when they finally book it, because they're planning around renovations and all these things. So sometimes you remember the close rates that happened today, right? When someone closes today, you remember it. But when someone reached out 3 months ago and then they close in July, you're like, "Oh, okay," but you're still closed it. Mm-hmm. So that rate it's up there.
Yeah, and that's just a quick way to realize like how many people are submitting forms in regards to how many people are visiting the site.
Exactly.
And some of those people are also competitors. Some of those people are just
dreamers too.
Accidentally landed on your site, so the margin's probably actually a little bit higher.
It probably is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then one of the other things I wanted to mention is, once you start getting guys, stuff like that, I really recommend some sort of CRM service. I don't know if you're using anything now for your calendar and stuff like that, but
I was planning to look into Jobber. I think you guys mentioned that what you use. I think, from my understanding, people would like to be able to go online and book their own date for resurfacing.
Yep.
They don't. Not everybody finds value in calling.
yep.
Or I get this, there's a lot of back and forth emails. They don't tell you the address. They don't tell you their phone number. It'd be really cool to do with Jobber, just let them book it.
Yeah, so
Once it's quoted.
Jobber just introduced that feature, by the way. So that now it has like true online booking.
It kind of takes away your upsell value, though.
That is something I would say yes. Now, but there is something to be said. There are customers who won't call or fucking text. They just want to do it. So having the option, I think, is a good thing. We haven't implemented it to our site yet, but some other people like Bath Art.
I don't think I will, because of all the variables. Like when you got 3 or 4 guys out in the field, shit goes wrong. That's true. And then when you have this calendar booked out without any thought process behind it, I don't know if you're going to be as efficient as you could be. That's really for a company that's scaled a little more, because what you really need is somebody to basically be a calendar person. Mm-hmm. You need a dedicated person to where even if an online booking came in, the calendar needs to be ready for that booking to make sense. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's say you haven't updated the calendar in a week, and then you look at it and you got 7 jobs on Monday. That's fucked. So you need a dedicated person. It'll notify you that someone has to know what our capabilities are. Because, like, for example, what happens if a truck goes down? What happens if a tech calls out? What happens? And then so you have to, someone's got to kind of be balancing it.
But Jobber is really valuable with a few things. Follow-up, immaculate. You know, I was talking about this with my brother. We also do real-world follow-up. We call back and, like, talk to them like, hey, what'd you think about that quote, all that stuff. But in the beginning, when you're really busy, sometimes you don't have time for that. Jobber does automatic quote follow-ups, and a lot of the time we close jobs just because of that. The email will be automatically sent out like, hey, what'd you guys think about the quote? And the customer will be like, hey, we're going to go ahead and do it next Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Like, and it just does some of that easy work for you, because you got to remember, not everyone is like us. Sometimes people are shopping heavy, and they might have called 10 companies. They might have forgot who the fuck you were. Or you might have been the only one that followed up and not necessarily their favorite. Who cares? And you followed up.
It goes back to providing that like premium level of service. Like
exactly.
The integration, when everything's integrated like that, you're making it 10 times easier for the customer to say yes. So like when we send a quote out, one, it offers financing options as well. So like that's another tactic that has helped us close larger scale projects, is that Jobber integrates financing options into your quote. Yep. So with one click, do you want to pull up Jobber or no?
I don't want to pull up my job.
Yeah, I know. But anyways, it has features that allow you to help you close. Yeah. It's professional. There's images, there's line items. Quoting has just gotten easier because now you're not having to write out every single line item. You know, everything's pre-organized by price and service.
Does it help you get a sign-off, like when the job's done, sign off here that it's...
Every time we have an approval, they have to sign it. And then you could put like a work authorization signature.
I'm going to show it. It's okay. Let me go ahead. They have like
You could show mine if you want.
They have like a private view thing too. Give me a second. I'm going to pull it up over here and then I'll put it on the big screen. But yeah, Jobber's really good at like... it just streamlines your business, bro. And it's expensive.
It is expensive.
And it's getting more expensive.
They're going to keep going. That's another thing about committing to any sort of platform is like when you commit heavily, they kind of got you by the balls.
All right. I'm going to go to...
But running around without any type of CRM...
It's terrible.
That's not a good idea
for long term. And this tracks your everything. It's synced to... You sync it to QuickBooks. And they have payment processing integrated into the CRM itself. So you don't have to have another payment source to collect. It's all in one in-home application.
So, like I told you, we collect a deposit on every job. I do a $1 deposit. The only reason for that is that's the minimum amount that you could put on Jobber for a deposit. And what it does is as soon as they put the deposit down, it collects their card info, saves it on file. That helps because at the end of the day, when you finish a job, you could be like, hey, you want to charge your card on file? Click a button and it's done. You get paid really quick.
Beautiful.
Also, what that does is you could enforce your cancellation policy. Somebody cancels an appointment, you charge them. It does not matter, bro. I have never, I get maybe 2-3 people a fucking year who complain about it, who really are like, I'm not going to do it because of that.
I just had my job on Wednesday cancel.
Exactly.
Somebody
So I had
She found a better price somewhere.
I had a lady who tried to cancel last Thursday, and I was like, well, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to charge you the $200 cancellation fee. And she's like, wait, I completely forgot about the fee. She's like, it's $200. I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, I'm just going to keep it then, because this other person's only giving me $100 off. And I'm like, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I collect
that would-
25%,
He collects 25%.
non-refundable.
And it's a bigger,
So if you cancel, it's you already paid for the cancellation.
exactly. And then when they book these appointments on here, so I'm not going to show the full customer info, but right here, on their end, it'll prompt them to sign. And you put your terms here, right? So you could read what I put there, but there's their signature attached to it. This PDF copy is saved on the cloud. You could pull it up whenever you want. So I had a customer who did a $1,500 chargeback 4 months after we did a job, and the bank reached out to me for documentation because they said that they never bought the service. I sent them that, and Jobber sent me the money before it was even, before the investigation even closed. They just sent me the money back because I had a signature on file. So yeah, so
Could you act like you're gonna open a quote, like create a quote real quick?
Yeah.
Just hit create.
I invoice through Square right now, but I have QuickBooks too, so I'm not married to that. If this requires
This will integrate with QuickBooks.
will it integrate with Square?
yeah.
You won't need Square. If
You won't
get
need
this.
Square anymore, but it does integrate with it if you need it to.
So
I'd like to get rid of Square because they just raised their rates again.
They do it again.
And they're like, we do all this extra stuff now, but I don't use any of that extra stuff,
Yeah.
so just paying more.
So if you're making a quote, this is what it is.
You would input client information, input your job title,
Yeah.
then you would open up we have preloaded services and pricing, so it makes quoting efficient. You can attach photos to the project,
Which I
is
like a
good for
lot.
technicians because everyone wants to know what they're getting into for the day.
And does that do your technicians have a tablet on them?
They
Their
do
phones.
they download the app right to their phone. You create them a profile, and then you can also limit their rights.
Yep.
So depending on what you want your employee to see, if you don't want them to see pricing, they don't have to. They can only see a scope.
Yep.
I remember you talking about that, but that
One of the things I like the most about
awesome.
it, one of the things I like the most about it, honestly, is so the reason I got Jobber, he told me about it, and I didn't realize that they had this solution. Every fucking scheduling software, for some reason, allowed every fucking person to see the other person's schedule. And I was like, this guy doesn't need to know that this guy's working that day and he's not.
Yeah, you can assign by the tech.
You get assigned by the tech, which is great. So the tech only sees his schedule. Or if he's a foreman and needs to go with somebody, he could see the other guy's schedule, but only when they're assigned together. See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Did you look at Service Titan at all? Because I was
No, but
familiar with that.
I've heard of
them,
it.
Yeah,
HVAC guys and stuff. A lot of those use Service Titan, and it looked very similar.
that and House Call Pro.
House Call Pro I've heard of too.
It shows a picture of the technician come up to your house, and
Yeah, I don't know if Jobber does that.
Here's Gary. He's married with 2 kids and likes barbecuing.
But that shit matters because I get about at least once a month I get a call saying, "Does he speak English? Who is he?" And it's like, and then you have to have that whole conversation.
We also should push. I know this is a stupid little thing, but we should make all the guys take profile pictures.
Absolutely, I plan on showcasing the crew as much as possible on social media too because that they are the ones.
So that way, when they're assigned, it shows their face. So the people aren't going to the door blind.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Through Jobber?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a definite.
So when you go into the back end of Jobber, when you go to manage team, you could add a profile picture
Oh yeah, we're doing
for your
that.
guys.
That's cool.
And it's a cool little feature.
That's exactly like
and,
Service
and,
Titan.
and it also it does notify them who you attach to their project, so the customer will see the technicians' names, on who's going to come do the work.
Yeah. Which is good. They're not asking like, hey, where's
You-
that guy?
You might get treated a little bit better too. I noticed, like from being in sales for years, if you can have an in-person meeting
Yep.
with a potential client, they treat you completely different than,
Yeah.
than if you just contact him over email. So then, it's not just a technician I'm having in my house. It's Gary, the father of 4.
Well, that's something that you're
Likes
going to have to
barbecue.
focus heavy is they're hiring you.
Yep.
Even if you're not going to go do the work, they're hiring you. And because no one sells your company like you. And if you can have those more intimate conversations with the customer, your sales ratio is going to go up.
And one of the best ways I've found about it is when I answer the phone or my brother is like, we don't just say the tech is going to be there. You know, we try to say, our tech Ralph, our tech, Damon, when we used to have Damon or whatever, our tech Tyler, like anybody is going to, like, they are humanizing the person. Also, it also takes away that, like, who the hell's going to come to my house? Who do I need to be on the lookout for?
And we are a small business.
And we are a small business.
It's only 4 or 5 guys.
And a lot of the times, even if you're doing it yourself sometimes because you have to, like, if you are the only one on all the media, they're going to assume it's you all the time. That's why a lot of guys get into a hard place when they name their company like Mike's Plumbing. It's like, where the fuck's Mike? It's like, Mike hasn't touched a fucking plumbing tool in 50 years. Yeah. But, like, you want to just give that extra peace of mind because things happen to people. People have weird experiences. They want to know who's coming to their house. They want to know what they look like, and also there's a paper trail of it. So if something, God forbid, something happens, they feel safer knowing I have a picture of this person.
And it goes back to that elite customer service. You wonder why you could charge the most. You're doing the most. If you're going the full experience, because people are purchasing an experience, right? Like, and just in Orlando, how many competitors do we have?
Too many
Bro,
to count,
like a lot. And so it's like, how do you distinguish yourself? And it's those little aspects of the business, yeah.
Like, bro, honestly, one of the things I'm gonna cut it here. We'll start another one. We'll do 4, because unless you guys want to end it there, is that cool?
I gotta go soon.
You gotta go?
Yeah.
Okay, but we'll just do this one a little longer then.
But you guys could go without me, no problem.
Well, one of the things I wanted to say is, a lot of people think they're shortcuts. They think that, like, I want to talk to this person who's ahead of me because they might know something I don't, right? And sometimes there is a little bit of that. But if you think that you meeting any one person is going to turn the shit off overnight, bro, most of the time we talk to people, someone like Danny who's making millions doing this, it's all the same answer. You want to be better, you want to do better, be better. You want more money? Like, provide the extra value to make more money. Like, you can't just, like, expect, like, hey, today I'm charging $500, tomorrow I'm going to charge $1,000, and it's just going to be cool. Like, and you're not doing anything different than the other guys. One of the reasons why I don't like platforms like Thumbtack for tubs, and I've talked about this before, is because on Thumbtack, everybody's a top-rated pro. They don't let you, like, if you have 3 stars, like,
they'll kick you off the
platform. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, like, I'm paying for this lead. It's like, okay, but that lead has talked to 3 or 4 other top pros. If everyone's a top pro,
sometimes 5.
Yeah. So if everyone's a top pro, you already know they're all good at their job. What is the only thing you have to think about?
Price.
Exactly.
It's a race to the bottom.
It's a race to the fucking bottom.
And it's expensive as hell.
And they're never gonna. I told them this early on. They're never gonna let you make enough money to stop using them. Why would they? That's why they're sending the same lead to 5 qualified people.
And not only is it a race to the bottom, just because, let's say, you're going to do the job for $500 and everybody else bid it at $800.
Yep.
They're still going to demand the same amount of quality.
Exactly.
Or they could even be pickier.
Yep.
Like, I've noticed with pricing, it's not like if I price a repair, let's say fiberglass repair at $175 instead of $250, like, they're not any more forgiving.
No.
So I might as well charge the $250.
Yeah.
Yep. It's one of those things, man. Like, at the end of the day,
it goes back to that conversation with the dude who took him $300 off his own job.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Exactly. And that guy, when he gets bigger, is gonna. I'm saying he's gonna feel like a dummy if he ever even gets there. Because
hopefully he does.
Yeah, hopefully he does. But bro, business is.
It doesn't. He's. Hopefully he does, but he's gonna have to change his mindset.
Yeah,
you got to get rid of that type of mindset.
Bro,
you got to get rid of the scarcity mindset.
Exactly. There's so many.
Everybody's terrified.
If you feel bad that you're charging so much, that's lack of confidence. And if you're not confident in your ability and your product, how is a client going to be confident in hiring you?
And they were going to, like you said, they still wanted it perfect, whether you charge them 12 or you charge them 9.
Yep.
They're not like, oh, it's okay. You only charge me 9.
Oh,
It could look like
God
shit.
forbid his truck breaks down next week and the repair cost is $299. Like, this is why we charge, guys.
Yeah.
Like these things, you're not thinking about them in the moment,
That's
but they happen.
That's $300 of ad spend, bro.
Exactly. That's $300 that, like, bro, regardless of what it was, you get, like, the value is there. They saw it. They were willing to pay it. You took it out of your own pocket, and now that's $300 less that you have in ads, less that you have in uniforms, less that you have to take your fucking kids to Disney, all these things that you might want to do, all these life goals. That's $300 less that you have because, oh, I feel bad for the client who told me $1,200 was okay.
And you always, you know, if you feel like you're pricing high, price high and work down.
Exactly.
Don't start down because you can't go back up.
Or also, well, see, he did that. You know what I'm saying?
He priced it high, he won the bid, and then
went down.
Then went down. I'm saying price high. If you get negative feedback on the price and you're willing to,
that's
go down,
the difference. It's
then
like
go down.
If it comes from customers like, hey, this is a little too expensive, and you're hearing that over and over, it might be time for an adjustment. Either you need to provide more value, or you need to lower the prices and get more realistic. But
you know what?
He just took the rug from under himself.
He even could have. If you truly felt like the job was priced way too high, that you could have supplemented the value with a second day buffing.
I do that sometimes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes like there's ways to get around it where you can keep your margins the same.
Yep.
And also provide quality.
Provide something a little extra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would have been a good tactic.
But, you know.
If you feel guilty, go through and put a ceramic glaze on it.
Shit, I don't feel guilty. You know how many tubs I've redone when we know we're not supposed to?
You want to know, and look, we've talked plenty about that guy, but I really hope that he starts thinking more. Look, in this world, you don't have to be selfish, but you also don't have to be a fool, man. Like,
and you don't have to hide information. You know,
No.
like, hey, you using Java or a service type, great.
For
These
sure.
are great. There's enough buy out there for everybody.
Yep.
I DM Marissa.
Yeah,
with
permaglaze. Yeah.
And because she has more experience in the industry than I do, and you know, she's helpful, and she'll give me some recommendations on some certain products, and she's doing a really good job with her social media.
Mm-hmm.
I put her onto that.
Yeah, Danny's the one
Bro.
that changed her mindset on that.
She was like, oh, I don't really know about posting stuff. And I'm like, Marissa.
She feels weird talking into
Do it.
the phone,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And now she's so good at it.
Yeah, but now
Like-
she's known for it.
And she also surpassed what both of us thought was possible. I remember I
Oh, the numbers! I look at the numbers she's doing on that. It's crazy.
Yeah, because she
need
has
to
a
step it
niche.
up
She's
there.
a tradeswoman,
that's true.
which is like a whole thing,
Yeah.
right? Like that's a niche. There's not many of them.
Maybe my labor. Maybe I need to do some more social media with her on there because
It would be
it's
great.
It's
That
unique.
and like so also is just more social media in general for you because it builds brand awareness. Like it's what I was telling Daniel, like when it's something that is in your control, right? Like you you're not going to turn on the computer tomorrow and be a Google Analytics expert, but damn sure you can make a video talking about why you should pick us to refinish your tub, and you should pick us because I'm telling you that I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to do it right, and I take value in my work and blah 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 blah. But it's something that's in your control that you can change your business with. So to not do it is strictly just an action.
How active are you on social media?
I probably do 1 or 2 posts a week.
Okay.
Plus, what we've learned is Facebook ads in general is an affordable way to market.
It is, yeah. Facebook ads are good. But it's content. You need content.
Yeah.
Good pictures, good video. But it is effective.
It's effective and it's affordable.
On social media, man, a lot of people have this hiccup. They're too worried about what to post instead of just posting. And a lot of people spend so much fucking time. I'm not saying this is you. This happened to him. It's happened to me. They're inconsistent posting because they don't know, is this going to be good enough to post? When in reality, if you look at who's dominating social media anywhere, they're posting whatever the fuck. That's really the truth.
So I could, for example, my voicemail is set up right now that we're still accepting, we're still booking jobs and quoting. Limited access to phone. We're on holiday this week, but I even post on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
Indiana Resurfacing, management last day in Florida.
You should be posting you and your wife on vacation right now.
On your
talking
page.
About, hey, we're taking a quick break. We can't wait to get back to work and keep providing quality service to our customer. And you and your wife, who are real people,
Yep.
who really run this company, and they see that this is the guy who owns this. This is the guy who cares for this, and he's a person, and he goes on vacation with his wife, and he's ready to come back. And when you get back to work, you should be like, hey, we're here on Monday, man. We're ready to get back to it. Thank you guys for all your support, and post it.
Yep.
See, maybe I was overthinking it, where I was like, okay, it specifically has to be.
It doesn't.
And that's probably because of your corporate background, but you're small business now. They're hiring you.
And believe it or not, these big companies are doing that now.
To be more personal.
Yeah. A lot of the people who are CEOs of these companies, they have what's known as personal brands. And Elon Musk, he'll post him at Boca de Pepo fucking eating Italian food. And then he's become bigger than the thing. Like, if Elon Musk left Tesla tomorrow and started another EV company, it would already be competing with Tesla.
That's a good point. So the corporate background helps in certain aspects, but then it's limiting
In others.
because I'm used to thinking in a very narrow lane. Because I mean, the company's like at a $2.5 billion company. And
Well,
there's strict rules.
People like buying from people, and when you humanize your brand, it feels like you're buying from an individual rather than a corporate entity. And people don't like corporations, bro.
Yeah, because we're local service providers.
Exactly.
What's your service radius? I do 60 miles, and that's big.
I do 35 or 40, something like that.
I'll do about 50 or 60.
50, yeah.
Okay.
So like they know you live here. You're local. You're only servicing your community.
And you know what's also really cool, bro? And this is something that, like, I know, Indiana has to have, like, events that are local and flea markets and these little things. Record a quick little video. Take a picture of you at these places. And you're going to start seeing people from Indiana like, I love that place. Have you been to this thing? And you guys start talking and chatting. And then they start looking at what you do and they will buy from you.
Like, that's that bathtub guy.
Literally, bro.
That's the bathtub guy.
Like, it happens. Like, it's weird, but social media is that powerful. And it's not going to happen overnight. It is a thing that you need to do, but you'll start getting a following, man. And
honestly, it's rewarding.
It is.
Because you work hard as fuck. You should be bragging about that shit.
Yep.
Like, you should, like, dude, we run our own companies. That is not an easy feat. We have something to brag about.
It's
a lot, bro. It's a lot.
Most people don't do it.
You should be extremely prideful. You should be saying, like, I do this. I'm proud of this.
Yep. Social media is great, man. It's just, you gotta see. I whenever I hear someone like, oh, I only post a couple times a week, and even I've been guilty of it. Like right now, I haven't posted in a little while, but you have to get out of the mindset of what the fuck am I gonna post versus just it's time to post something.
And you're a processes guy. Build a process.
Yep.
If you can't do it regularly, then in your mind, structure it in a linear way. Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm gonna create content, but I need to create enough content on Monday and Tuesday for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And you preload content. So that way Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're not as concerned with what we're posting today.
Also, don't feel afraid to tell your sub, like, hey, if you could take like some before and after video, if you can take some
don't even make it optional.
Yeah. Also,
part of your fucking job is to go in there and take a good picture
before.
Yeah.
And take a good ass picture afterwards. And if you send me some bullshit ass picture, I'm gonna tell you that's bullshit.
Yeah, you should look like you know what? He's right. Because you could tell him, look, that's going to get us more work when I post it. But also, if a customer makes up a story about you left something like this and I don't have proof, then we're fucked. So you should be documenting every job. It needs to be documented. Also, if you're not working one day, but you go to a job site to drop a product off or whatever, make a video of you in the truck. Hey, I'm just going down to this job site to do this. We're doing this, and this in the house. And just letting you guys know, we're busy today. And if you guys, want a job, whatever, make something out of it, though. A lot of people find it really interesting, like just the day-to-day. The stuff that we find boring, people are like, yeah, that's fucking cool to watch.
Like, I started showing a lot of our shop work, right? Like, people like, yeah, we refinish cabinets. Show it. Show what you do. We're fucking in there painting a shit ton of cabinets every week. I started showing the guys doing it. I showed them sanding. I showed them painting. I showed them wrapping doors. I show them prepping. I show them actually doing the work. And when I go into customers' homes, especially the younger demographic, when I go to homeowners who are within 20 to 40, I ask, do you have an Instagram? I was like, I use that as my digital portfolio. And if you want to see what we're all about, check it out.
That's it.
And they're like, oh, really? And then they follow me.
Too.
Yeah,
I do that
it's
too.
a fucking free portfolio.
So they like buying from somebody, right? But on the other side of it, I've noticed lately they feel more comfortable buying from you if it's not just a one-man show.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of, they don't say it to be offensive, but I've noticed as I've been able to get on the phone more, they're kind of like, is it just you or is it like a company? And, and they definitely want it to be not just you.
There's a stigma behind it, but rightfully so.
They don't want you to just bounce out.
Exactly. Here's the thing. People, they might not even be thinking this way, but subconsciously, it's too easy for you to just go. But if there's people depending on you and stuff, naturally you're more hesitant, right? Like you got 5 guys depending on you every day. They have families and they need paychecks and they have insurance. And if you pick up and leave,
mortgages and
things happen. But if it's just you could just pick up and disappear. Also, not for nothing, but people could just die. Like something could happen. And now what? You bought from the one-man show and now you're fucked. It's true. It happens.
You bought from the one-man show, but he moved to another state.
Exactly.
I'm sure it happens all the
time.
All the time.
Yeah, even companies do that. But people just feel better.
It's like consumer psychology, man. Kind of just understanding what people want.
Yeah, especially when you're charging a premium. People want to buy from a legit company, but they want it to feel personal. And that's the touch.
And we are legitimate companies. We're no different. We're just not the same size. You still have a whole process. You're management, your sales, you're the marketing agency, you're everything. You're still doing all those roles. It's just not on the same scale.
The way I like to think about it is like everybody wants big company like ability, but with a small business feel. And a lot of companies are going towards that.
Like Chick-fil-A.
It's like they're boutique-y kind of stuff now. That's what they call it. It's like, oh, I'm a boutique like wedding planner. They do like $3 million a year, but they make it feel personal. They have those personal touches. You talk to a human. You know, like you're not talking to a robot operator on the phone. Like, you know, like you're actually answering your fucking phone.
I save my customers' contact information in my phone. So when I answer the phone and I know who it is, I'm like, oh, hey, John.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? How can I help you? Yeah. But that's helps because I'm out of the field.
Yep.
I can actually have the fucking mental capacity to remember this guy and what we talked about and all that shit. And it really changes the whole experience.
Yep.
I was not enjoying owning my job. So it's like I'm going to be on a race to sort of implement some of these marketing things because I definitely would like to get another team member. Yeah,
man. It changes so much. Like you're always going to be working, but the work becomes different. You know, it's not, you know, like right now, my brother's answering the phone. Like me 2 weeks ago, like I would be stressing here, customers hitting me up while I'm doing this.
That's me.
And I would have to go back to them after and like it's a hard balance.
And it's okay. We're all at different levels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's part of the accomplishment. Like I wouldn't feel the same way if it was just given to me. It's part of building this business that is why you get into entrepreneurship in the first place. It's just not losing yourself in the journey because it can become overwhelming. And so like you do what you can and that's what I'm saying, do what's in your control. Social media is in your control and it's relatively cheap. And you know, going through the third-party agencies and spending astronomical amounts on ad spend, that can get you into some pickles in the beginning.
Yeah, it can,
but there are things that are in your control. And you know, that's one of them.
Yeah, social media is brand building. It's the 21st century way to build a brand, bro.
I was talking to my father about it the other day and I was saying like it's weird because I'm going to be 30 this year and I was like in 10 years from now, the median house homeowner age is going to be me, and we are going to be completely on social media. Everyone owning homes at 35, 45-year-old are going to be experts at social media, which is not the case today. Like techniques like Valpak are going to be irrelevant. Techniques like newspaper advertising, magazines, all going to be irrelevant.
They're pretty much irrelevant unless you're in the villages.
Exactly.
If you're in the villages,
so do
a newspaper ad.
Me and Dan. Well, yeah, Danny's a little bit younger than me, but I'm pretty much like the beginning of social media. Like I remember MySpace and Facebook, and that's when it really started kicking off. I was a teenager going through all that, and now it's a part of my life. You know what I mean? Like, and that's only gonna continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And
I'm 25.
I'm 29.
There you go. You're young and doing it.
And that's another thing we tell people is like, there's a lot of fucking crazy fuckers like us coming in the industry.
Yeah.
That if you have to remain competitive, which is unfortunate. You know, if you're not fluent with it, it's only a matter of time before more young guys come in and they just take TikTok to the next level.
I think I told you this one time, but I've told it to a couple people. It's like, I'm gonna be cool with you, but every day, like, I'm looking to destroy you. Because I'm gonna either you're gonna join me or I'm gonna overtake you, bro.
He's very competitive.
I tell people this shit all the time. My intent is to fucking win, bro.
But me too, though. That's really my intent. We're not here to fuck around.
The only people I see doing proactive posts in Indianapolis right now would be Indiana Resurfacing to some degree, and Miracle Method is having a call to action on Instagram.
Yeah, they do sponsored ads.
Because I look at a bunch of...
Those sponsored ads are cool. Like, I like them because you can target local, super local. Like, I want only people within 20 miles of where I live can see this sponsored ad. And you can't get much more toned in than that.
And nobody else is doing any social media. I can't find them.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, I've been following you for a long time. Probably before you even realized, because before I came on the podcast, nobody fucking knew about me. So I was following refinishers in the industry my first year because I didn't fucking know how to go about the business.
For sure.
Through social media, me and Danny met. We came on the podcast. I learned shit on this podcast every single.
I took him to Puerto Rico. We did a project over there together.
I know.
It was his first commercial thing.
Yeah. And we killed that shit.
Yeah, that shit was great.
That opened my eyes to my own potential as a person. I went from a one-man show, having one helper, to then I had a second helper, fired the first helper. We went to Puerto Rico. I grabbed 3 of my fucking cousins and we're like, bro, we're going to fucking Puerto Rico. You're going to help me with this project. And from that moment forward, I have a company. It's fucking crazy.
Does it typically take you, like, I had to fire 5 people to get the one that's currently with me because it's like they just didn't have attention to detail.
That's it. It's it.
They didn't have the attention to detail, and you know you're in Carmel, Indiana, with affluent suburb.
I've had to fire 3 people, and I currently have 3 people. So I've been through 6 employees. I'm at a 50% success rate.
Look,
Look, these people lose their fucking mind, and understandably, you're in a $40,000 bathroom. You can't have overspray and come in with muddy boots. And
so Danny from Alliance told me something really early on, and he told me, hire fast, fire faster. So let's face it. The guys who are good in your company, in my company, you see it the moment they step into the fucking door. You see it the first week when you put them to the test, how they handle problems and stuff. You cannot fix common sense. What did we talk about before? People don't have common sense, man.
It's common sense.
It is.
I would, if I'm going into a nice home, you know, where these people are spending. I subcontract for Worthington. It's like a design house where they'll come in and redesign your bathroom for you, and then they sub out all the work. So they got their painters, they got their tile people. I'm their tub guy.
Okay.
Where was I going with that?
Talking about common sense, and when you
sense.
go into a certain value of home, that you need to be on point.
So if you can afford to hire Worthington, and they have a sales lady, and she's gonna do, you know, the 3D, you know, drawings and all that stuff for you. Mm-hmm. If you can afford that service, you know, these people are gonna be picky.
Yeah,
because they're spending a lot of money.
And also, you know, these guys, some of them pretend like they have dreams and aspirations. Like, Oh, I want to grow in this company. But they're fucking up at level 1. How are you gonna? How do you expect to be up here, my foreman, the person I could trust, with all this extra responsibility? If you're fucking up right here, if you're not putting tape on a fucking $3,000 vanity because you don't feel like it, well then fuck off.
I actually heard that. So my process. This sounds maybe stupid and like super granular, but when I open the bed of the truck, I use a sustainer for my paper and my plastic wrap. The rule is, once that roll is finished, immediately recharge it, and I can open up the back of the truck and look in there and say, oh, I need to reload it with a paper and a plastic and 2 rolls of tape. And I've had dude just told me, like, yeah, I didn't do that because I didn't feel like it. Well, so then I'm going to be on a job site, 50 minutes from Home Depot or whatever.
The moment somebody says, I didn't feel like it, I would tell them, I would be like, go home. Go home. And I'm not taking you.
Yeah, seriously.
I swear to God. I would tell them, look, and if you don't want to make a show at a customer's house, hey, let's go take a trip. Take them to the nearest fucking gas station.
Drop them off.
And be like, all right, bro, I didn't feel like taking you home today. And leave, bro.
You're joking. That's
bro.
That's gangster.
Don't tolerate that bullshit.
Oh, Danny's gangster, bro.
Don't tolerate that bullshit, bro.
But see, I really haven't had too many problems. Like my firings have been more because of showing up on time, consistency issues. But what I do is I oversee the guys a lot.
Imagine if
I'm up in your shit.
Bro,
I'm
imagine if Little Angel said I didn't feel like it to you on a job site. He's going home.
Also,
bro.
you do hit a certain point where you're like, I don't fucking need you, dude.
Yeah.
Like you know how many people ask us for a job? In the beginning, when I first started, I was like, oh, well, I can't fire him because I have all these jobs. And what happens? I learned.
That's why I'm like, I'm on a race to get the second person because I don't want anybody having too much control.
It's
bro,
that leverage.
Don't let them smell it on you, though.
Yeah,
it doesn't, bro. Even if you're desperate, don't let them smell it, bro.
I'm not desperate because I can spray a beautiful tub myself.
Exactly. So there you go.
I just don't want to run around like a jackass.
Let's say you have a taste of that. Like, all right, I got 2 solid guys, and they start acting out, and you're like, damn, I really don't want to let them go, bro. Fuck all of that. If someone's fucking up, believe me, they're gonna cost you more in the long run than if you just cut the cancer out now, bro.
And then when
don't let it linger.
Then the guys have a new sense of pride. Like when you're like right now, my teams, we make mistakes. We're humans, but no one's careless.
Yeah, well,
I don't have a single careless tech.
There's something. So the lady.
Then that's a win, right? But like, how much do you tolerate callbacks? Because you're gonna have a certain amount of callbacks. There's gonna be a little piece of dust get in there.
You use it as a learning process.
If it's something that I would do in the field, I'll understand.
Yeah.
If it's something that has happened to me, fucking sweat dripped in, that shit happens. Dust fell in, that shit happens.
Negligence is not ever
Negligence
acceptable.
is not like, for example, we had one of my youngest tech. He this week we're painting doors, and he under-catalyzed the paint on the top coat. And it's like, I could either raise hell right now or whatever. I fixed it. That I spent a whole day fixing my company shit because my company's important to me.
Exactly.
I had one conversation with him. I said, this is what happened. I understand how it happened. You're probably tired. You're moving, you're jobbing. You fucked up. I said, this mistake can never happen again.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I have to say to you. This mistake can never happen again.
And if it does,
you don't yell, you don't scream.
No, I never disrespect.
That's why I wanted to run my own business, because I in the past I was around a lot of yellers and screamers, and I'm just like, there has to be a better way.
You know why though? Is because in corporate structure they will keep around someone who is literally negligent, because they for what this happens in corporate America, they'll have somebody who can literally do the job of 2 people, but they'd rather have 2 people doing it. Like, things like that happen all the time in corporate America. So there's like everybody who I know who's worked a corporate job knows that there's someone who's doing a lot less than everybody else and sucks at their job, and like he's still there no matter what. That happens a lot.
Nobody knows why they
I don't know.
Keep them around.
I think it's because there's so many different levels of structural and ownership, and They already put them through the training, and on paper they're qualified. That they're hesitant to let people go in case
it's not
they
their
need
money.
them. But again, like you said, it's not their money.
It's your fucking money. You're like, dude, I'm not wasting my money on you.
When you're the boss, bro, there needs to be something that you're gonna learn. They need to borderline fear you and respect you. They need to know that, like, when you say, like, hey, you fucked that up again, like, you're done. If you have two guys, if he fucks up again and he's not gone, then the next guy's gonna start thinking, like, how serious is he?
Actually, that was the nail in the coffin. And then he didn't reload my hand maskers, my 3 hand maskers.
Bro, imagine not doing this because you don't feel like
he
it.
didn't fucking feel like
I would
it.
send him to the gulag, bro. Fuck all that.
Yeah, he went bye-bye. But
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I don't know if that sounds ridiculous, but I was just
No,
like...
it's not, because it's a test of
it's-
integrity.
It's not rocket science,
Yeah.
you know? And then he broke the maskers.
Nope. I would have taken it out of his check.
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
So you have to use your discretion.
Yeah.
I mean, I use my discretion. I lead my company differently. I just, you know how I am.
Yeah. No, but you got to be nice, but you can't be a fool.
Exactly.
You got to be fair, but you also got to push them. All of these things are true. You know, if you know that at your age right now, if you had to do 4 tubs by yourself today, you would get it done because of the money. You should expect that a younger guy who's half your fucking age is doing this shit can knock out 4 by himself if he needs to. If you need to push him. Now, you're going to avoid pushing him as much as possible. But that's the balance. It's like, you're a nice guy. This shit needs to get done today, though, bro. And you could do it. You know how I know you could do it? Because I could do it.
And I tell those guys, like...
And if you're not going to do it, I'll do it.
You need to do it. Do you like your job? Do you like this company? Yeah. We need to stay in business.
Yeah.
So the number that I'm sort of looking at is I can look at my 3 best months over the year, and if I can, by myself, generate $14,000, let's say, gross sales, then there's no reason a technician should not be able to do that at a bare minimum.
Yep.
Because I'm taking the phone calls, I'm doing the scheduling, I'm doing
Exactly.
all these other hats.
And by the way,
you should at least be able to be as
I want
good as
to
me.
the 4 tubs is in like a commercial setting. I'm not saying like go to 4 people's houses. I'm saying like in a commercial setting. There's 4 tubs lined up for you in a hotel. Like you could knock them out. But because some people are gonna be like, oh, 4 tubs in a
typical
day.
residential. If
2
you're,
tubs.
Yeah, 2 tubs. About 2 tubs a day. If you're not driving a lot. If you're driving a lot, maybe less. But at the end of the day, the real thing is like you want to get those guys producing tub and tiles.
Yep.
You know, that's where everyone's winning. Where you're not fucking going from tub to tub to tub to tub, and you're still fucking making money. This guy has one project to work with all day, and you know it's a win-win for everybody. Those upsells is how you stay in business, and you don't run your crew to the fucking ground.
Yeah. And you don't want to run to the ground, but they should be ready for it though.
And sometimes it has to be done.
Sometimes it has to happen. Like the last day we were in Puerto Rico, everyone was working until like 12:30, right? Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we were overseas, literally.
Yeah,
and
we were
like we
it
had
was a different
deadline.
thing. It
We
was
had
a different
deadline.
thing.
We had flights. We had a lot of shit, and it got personal to a point where we're like, we are gonna achieve this fucking shit. Yeah. Like, and if you're not gonna help achieve it, just get the fuck off the site, because like we're not here to fuck around. It was a big project for Danny and me. It was a big project for us because it was our first big one, but it was a fucking overseas project for Daniel that you ultimately were absorbing all of the risk on. And you contracted me out to get it done. And so, you know, that it was a success because everyone cared to get it done.
And that's the thing too. So you don't want the guys to go through every single hardship you've gone through on the field, but you got to think of it like you're a coach, bro. You know, like don't be a whiny little bitch. It was worse for me. So like today you might have to do this, but we're doing this today so that next week I could pay you to just do a fucking tub.
But this also comes from the guys who like buys his guy a PS5, who's bought Disney trips for his guys. I try to do my best to take care of my guys.
We took them all out to a big dinner last year.
Drink. We did a big we did a big company dinner that at a nice ass steakhouse.
It was fire.
You know, like we do the best we can to compensate as well, and it's small business. Those guys, like for what I do, my shop, like I have a shop now, and they can come there and work on their cars if they want to. That shop is ours, bro. Yep. It's ours as a team.
I took Ralph on a cruise. I took him on a cruise with us, with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he had a great time. That was a year ago. So like it was great. But it's just, you know, like when it's time to work, it's time to work. Like that's it.
You only need one or two really good guys. Then everyone else falls into place.
Yep.
If your two right hands are like solid, and that's the standard, then all the helpers and shit, it gets fucking weird when your two right hands are some slackers.
Yeah.
Then
Everybody starts
no
slacking.
one respects you, and it's all fucked up.
Or really, if you look, one of the most important things I've learned is that like you cannot let bad people linger around, bro. When it comes to hiring, they will fuck everybody else up. Cut
the cancer.
Exactly.
Cut the cancer.
That lady from Shark Tank, Barbara. There's like a whole video of her talking about how she likes to fire people, like, and the reason is because she says that they ruin her good kids. Like, essentially, like in a business structure, we are the parental figure, right? We are above them on in the chain of command, right? If one person is ruining everybody else's time, their vibe isn't right, whatever have you. Like, that fucks up everything for everybody. Because, don't you just hate when, like, you got to open the little cap. You're, like, in a less than ideal situation, but instead of just doing the thing, everyone's just bitching.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants that. That's part of the reason why I always talk about Gene. Like, he was that. Nobody ever wanted to work with him because he was cancer to work with.
Negative Nancy.
And all it did was turn everybody else into a Gene.
Fucks up the morale.
Yeah, or you have one guy who's always coming late. Then they all think that they can start coming late. That's why you don't let the guy come late to begin with. Because it sets up a bad precedent. Well, if he can do it, why can't I? How about nobody comes in late? Except for me.
Yeah.
That's it. Why can't I come in late? Because my name's on the building, bro. I pay the taxes. I do whatever the fuck I want. That's it. It is very much like, I don't know. It's very much like
it's leadership.
It's leadership.
Leadership is good and bad. It's like we have a job.
Yeah.
Just because we're not painting doesn't mean we're not fucking working.
Yep.
I'm fucking dealing with people.
And God forbid you put one of these guys, even the best ones who know the job inside and out, you put them in a position of leadership and their hair is on fire. They don't know what the fuck to do. You tell them, hey, you're going to manage this job this week. They're like, great. Until like 8 o'clock that night. They're like, oh my, this didn't get done and this didn't get done and this is fucked up. And it's like, yeah. And what are you going to do about it? They think your job is easy until that happens.
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed some attitudes like that. They said, one guy told me, he said, oh, you just want to sit back and cash checks. And it's like, how do you think the schedule gets done?
The moment somebody says some slick shit like that to me, I am fucking go home, bro.
I think that our guys don't because we're so vocal.
I think our guys don't.
Our guys listen. They come across the podcast.
They've also probably seen us see people like that and tell them to fuck off.
Well, yeah, they've seen us fire in front of them.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's happened. They know we're serious. Like,
bro, it was great. You know what's funny? One of my favorite. So, like I told you, I lost like $200,000 hiring and firing people. The best days were the days I fired people. Oh my! It almost made the money worth it. Like, bro, I would have all the guys because when we had like 9 guys for a project, and my intention was to keep them all on, but 8 of them were shitheads. So I fired all of them, but not at once. I gave them opportunities. I wanted to keep them around, and I'd be like, "Hey, Maurice, come in my office." Came in. They were all outside. I would be like, I would yell at them, bro. That's not the first step though. It was just when they were just being negligent. Like one of my really good hotel accounts that has called us for years. He gets a stripe of overspray this thick on their wall.
Yeah, that's.
And this was like
negligence.
Yeah,
that's never happened to me.
Exactly.
When they sprayed it out.
This was like our third opportunity with the guy. I let him fucking have it, and they walk out of there with their head down. Everybody already knows what happened, and then everybody else is like this. Oh, it's fantastic, but a lot of those other guys were just shitheads too. So I let them all go. There was a point where it went right back to just me and Ralph and my brother, and we just made it work. Like it happens.
And you bounce back though.
You bounce back. You bro.
Because the skill of finishing isn't the valuable skill.
It's not.
It's the management. It's the team leadership. It's the lead generation. It's the client acquisition. It's the sales and processes. That's what makes a company a company. There's a lot of talented people. I got guys now where I'm like, I tell them like, bro, you could run ops. You're smart enough to run the fucking ops. and I really don't have to be here. If I gave you funds, the jobs, and the people to do it, I know my two right hands could run the show, ops wise. If I sold all the work and I just said, here's the calendar, this is what these clients need, figure it out. At this point, they could do it. Mm-hmm. Do we do it that way? No, because I still want to build the business according to me. You know what I mean? But it could happen. They're smart enough people to do it.
Mm-hmm. I think you know, you're gonna learn this when you hire people, bro. But it's just, look, dude, you got to go with your gut. If it's not working out from the beginning, you're not going to be able to deprogram people. These are not babies; they're adults. We are set in our ways. So if somebody can't stop smoking weed and they come in reeking like marijuana, you might not have a problem with it personally. But, you know, Tammy down the street, who's 80 years old, who grew up learning that marijuana was the devil. She's not going to like it. And it's going to reflect poorly on you. So you got to cut that shit out. All these things are things you're going to learn eventually. But I really hope that you listen to what I said as far as like skip past the bullshit, 3 weeks probation so I could see how you work. And whenever somebody gives you some I don't give a fuck attitude, let them have it, bro. All right, you're out. And let's say, like, look, first offense, they're usually great. Maybe they had a bad day. Just give them a week off. Don't even tell them. Matter of fact, don't even tell them it's a week off. Just tell them to get the fuck off your job site and let a week go by. I guarantee you that before the end of that week, they're going to ask you if they still have a job. And that's when you tell them, look, do you want a job? Because you said this, this, and this. And I'm not tolerating that shit. You can never let them feel like they have any leverage over you. Because in reality, they don't. Like he said, he could jump in and spray a fucking bathtub.
As can I. That's why I waited a couple years.
Exactly. Most of the people who start these businesses, they know how to do the fucking work. But at the end of the day, that's not the hard part. The hard part is building the fucking business, which goes back to what you said. That's why barely anybody ever does it. All these guys have dreams. I could just do this myself. I could buy a compressor and do it myself. Yeah. Look at fucking Damon, who said that shit to me. I'm gonna start my own thing. Then he's asking me like for work again. It's like, no, bro. That is the hard part.
He told you, fuck you. I can just do all this myself.
He just started slacking really hard, and then he was like, I'm gonna start my own thing after I let him go. And I was like, cool. And then obviously it didn't work out. And
have fun with that.
And then he asked me for his job back, and it's like, no. All these guys, bro, they think they can, but they can't, bro.
And then you know what we're learning now too? These guys just keep coming to us.
Yep.
Every time me and him are concerned about like, fuck, we need more guys. It's like someone just comes out of nowhere and is like ready to fucking work. It's like what the fuck? And we get worried for half a second, and then some guy shows it. Like I had a meeting last night with someone who's refinishing the pass, and I wasn't really actively looking. Just like that, I have another guy. Mm-hmm. It's like, you really think you're irreplaceable?
Yeah.
Nobody's irreplaceable.
Yeah, it's like, come on, bro, tighten up.
Yep.
Do you get your sprayers? Do you get them from Indeed?
No, I don't even advertise.
The only person who I've had that was good at spraying from Indeed was Damon, by the way, the guy I'm talking about. His problem was all outside of the work stuff. He's a good technician, but his personal life just injected too much in the business, too much drama, with girlfriends and all this bullshit that I don't really care about.
Contractors normally have some degree of drama.
Exactly. What you want,
some degree.
This is another reason why social media is important. When you do something nice for your fucking worker, you got to remember, you are branding. You're not just branding to the customer. You're branding to people who might want to work with you. And they want to be at a place where they're going to feel respected. They're going to see that you're busy, that you have the work to keep them there, and that they're going to be compensated right? So, I get hit up by people who see our stuff on social media asking me for a job. These are qualified people who just want to work at a good place, right? That's what you want. You want people to start coming to you.
And one thing I'm going to add to my webpage, I noticed on your website that there's an employment tab.
Yeah, careers, yeah.
Careers, so then people can
you never know.
Come to you.
Yeah. You want that, bro. That when you get qualified people asking you for a job, it's so much more refreshing. We had this guy. There's a old public assets show called This Old House. That's like,
oh yeah,
it's really popular. Mm-hmm. This guy sprayed a bathtub on there on an episode when he lived in Boston.
No way.
He retired down here. Well, the idea was he was going to work for this company and retire with them. The company went out of business. Specialized Refinishing. They went out of business in Orlando. So he hit Jonathan up. And Jonathan didn't have a position for him, so he sent him to me. And I have him. Works great. He's been doing refinishing for like 30 years. Old guy. He's like 55. He's an older guy.
And he can still do it.
Oh, yeah. And he's efficient and does a great job.
Wow.
But
Especially if you give him a helper.
those kinds of guys will reach out if you have that brand presence, man. And then you get someone good. They want to work at a company that's steady, that, you know, they're going to be able to make their $2,000 every couple weeks, and they're going to be chilling. And they just do what's allotted to them in the day, and they go home. Like, he's a family man. He has his own house. Like, he has kids. He doesn't want to bother with all this extra drama. I send him by himself. He gets the jobs done. And that's it.
My main guy's like that too. My main guy is 45. And he jobs every single day. And he don't say shit. He doesn't fucking complain. And I tell him, like, Angel, I got this for you today, bro. This is a big one. Thank you. Get this done for me, bro. We got a big skip. Hey, today's one tub, bro. You're done by 1:30. Go home. Relax. And it's like a give and take. It's a relationship.
Can you pay him hourly if?
So I'm going to go to hourly moving forward. My two right hands, they decided they wanted to be on salary. But what I told them was, if you're on salary, you're in this, you're committed to this business, bro.
Yeah.
What
So
needs to be done needs to be done.
If it's a tub and tile where you're absolutely busting your ass all day,
Same pay.
same pay, but then you have easy,
Same pay.
easy, never refinish standard tub the next day.
Same
You're
pay.
home by 1.
Same pay.
Yep.
And it's the same shit. It's about. I would say they work hard 75% and they get a 25% easy.
Yeah.
Like 25% of the week will be easy, but the other 75% their job and they're earning it.
Yeah. Look, it's a give and take when it comes to that. You have to have the right people for it that understand the context.
You have to have trust. That's what I'm saying.
And that's
right.
it.
You're right. You have two guys that you really like. For him, it's, I would say Ralph,
Yeah.
Tyler. You know, your two main guys
Yeah.
that you know you're gonna send, and you're not gonna. If there's issues, it's because there's issues. It's not because they're fucking just being douchebags.
What about your hourly guys? So if it's a super easy tub, no problems, right? And they bang it out and they're done by 1.
They should do 2 in a day if that's the case.
I don't do hourly, but what he told me was most of those hourly guys, they act like they want to fucking work, bro, and they only get their 3 hours and they want to go home.
Yeah.
They're not fucking like, oh, I don't have enough hours.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Bro,
Like,
I barely get that. Like, I get that from one guy, but I told him, you got to learn how to spray. That's it. So this is what I do. I have a guy, 2 guys who I use sometimes to prep. So really, I mean, there's more of us than 4, but those are the 2 of them they just prep. They only prep when it's needed. And I tell them, if you want to work every day, you spray. So learn how to prep and then learn how to spray. But like that example that you said, they only got to do a tub. I'll send my tech to do a tub and tile, and I'll send that person to prep the tub for him. And on the way back home, he stops and just sprays the tub, and it's ready for him. All he's got to do is refinish it. That way, this guy,
system's working good.
that way he gets a few more hours, right? My sprayer, because the tub and tile could be done in 5 hours. So he's making up the extra 2 or 3 hours there, gets his 8 hours. This tech gets 3 hours. Fine. I'm cool with that. I usually never send them to do, like if I'm sending a sprayer to do 1 tub only that day, I consider that a L, bro. Like I think I'm losing money. Because really, bro, it's expensive. So if the guy, like let's say my main tech, my sprayer, is doing a tub that needs to be stripped, in the afternoon, he's either going to be doing another tub that needs to be stripped, but it's already ready for him, or a tub and tile, and it's already ready for him. It's worked out great. I'll send my guy to do a tub like an hour away, and on the way back, the job just happens to be on the way back. He'll stop halfway there, do the tub and tile, refinish it. Everything was prepped and ready for him. He goes home, got his 8 hours. He's not being overworked because the prep is really the longest time.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if everything was prepped for me and it was right in a row,
Yep.
you could do.
And I've also
Wow,
learned
dude.
I've also learned to look at my numbers not by the job, but almost in either a weekly or monthly kind of thing. So I know my salaries, right? Like I know what we're spending on payroll. there's a certain, I might have been light this week, but next week it may compensate. And so I need to have an average monthly on what they're producing. And if we're producing what we need to produce monthly, then you're still winning. You know what I mean? It's just some of the days, but that's another sacrifice of building your business. Like, you may not have 2 tubs a day for your tech. So you're just not going to have a tech? Or do you get the fucking tech and build the business to where you are getting them 2 tubs a day? It's their choice. You know what I mean? I chose it very early. Fuck that. It's the cost of doing business. I might not have 2 tubs, but this guy's going to do my 1 tub, and I'm not doing it. He's going to do it. He's going to get the experience. So when I do have that 2 tubs and our business is ready, we're there. But that comes at a cost, obviously.
And that's also another way you could look. If you have someone good, but you really want to train them from zero, they're not experienced, have them prep and master the prep first. And the best way to do it is, if you're going to be spraying it, let him prep it by himself. You don't even go to that job site. I'll be there at noon. You come and you make sure it's fire. It needs to be great, ready to go. You finish it off. There you go. Get him to do that a few times. Then what's going to happen is you're going to go do a tub yourself, or your employee, right? The one you're subcontracting. And you're going to tell her, hey, you're going to go to this place, and this person's going to prep for you. So in the afternoon, all you got to do is come here and spray it. And now you start to see how they're going to act when they know that you're not going to come around. Make sure it's still on point. If it's still looking good, then you tell them, you need to learn how to spray, man. Like you're doing good here, you're doing good there. I think it's time for you to start learning. You start opening up the door for that. But in the meantime, they're actually producing for you. That's how you get them to produce when they have limited skills.
And that's a part-time job.
Exactly. You tell them. You start part-time, because this is a skill that could make these guys a lot of money. At the end of the day, we're teaching them a trade. Like, they could leave you, and even though most of them might not, but they can leave you and just do 2 tubs on a weekend and make $1,000. So if you're gonna bother having them around for so long, like, make it worth it. When they're prepping, they're producing. When they know how to do the job, they're producing. And whenever that happens, if it happens, at least you got all you could out of them. But most people aren't even going to have the ambition to take it there. Trust me. They're not going to leave you and all this shit. A lot of them think they can until they see what it takes to run a real business. So,
I think the ones that are good, you know, I'll show them, and I'll be like, yeah, I got 12 calls today, and I got 10 emails. Like you can't just walk out and recreate that.
I think the next person you hire, you should try it that way that I'm telling you, because you're going to be able to double up your schedule without killing yourself. It's fantastic.
Just with a prep guy.
Yeah, start as a prep guy.
That's how I did it.
Yeah,
I had one, just me and a prep guy. I never prepped shit.
Yep.
Bro, me and you get in the truck, I would take us to the site, get out, go fucking prep that entire shower, and for that 4 hours that you're in there prepping, I'm in the truck.
Working.
I'll go drive, get me some lunch, answer some phone calls, call me when it's ready. And I'll come back, prime that shit, and paint it. That's how I did it. And then he was like, and then sometimes I'd be like, you prime it. And I'll just stand there, and I'll be right there. And he'd be priming. I'm like, hold the gun like this. You're too close. You're too far. Now he's starting to paint. Next thing I know, I'm like, all right, you know what? Today, top coat this shit. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you sure? Yeah, go ahead. Next thing you know, we do that 3-4 times, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to drop you off. Call me when it's done. And then there would be times where I would come back, and there's a fat run on the wall, and you're like, fuck. All right, well, let me go do some damage control with the customer, and hey, you know, we had a little issue. We're going to be come back, and I'll have to come back and fucking fix it. But I built a team. If you're not willing to ever take that fucking risk, you're not going to build a team. Mm-hmm. That's how I did it, because I wasn't even in the industry long enough to know anyone experienced.
So maybe I created an artificial roadblock there that I wouldn't think that there's somebody that just wants to work 4 hours a day or just.
They exist. You know what? Honestly,
especially young guys.
It's the majority of young guys.
Young guys are like, sit here with you a fucking day or go home 3 hours early to my girlfriend. Oh, fuck it. They're not worried about. They were really concerned with their bills, dude. They would have fucking went and got a job that pays a lot more money. Like, all right, that's my logic. Like, if you really wanted to fucking provide for your family,
it's true.
You'd have been doing what you need to do to go get a fucking really good job. But these are guys that don't have options.
And some of them, eventually, they might become some of your best techs. But in the beginning, they got to learn the ropes just like everyone else did. Where do you start? You start with the prep.
How are they paying the rent on 4 hours of prep a day?
Some of these guys aren't. Some of these guys are living with their
They
mama.
live with their parents, bro.
I ran into that, let's say, people I tried to hire that were from more affluent homes. It's like they're in mom's basement, but mom's basement is
nice.
Is 1,000 square feet with a pool table and a movie screen
And,
down
and
there.
you also could tell them, like, look,
They don't seem to care.
if you run into that, you tell them, learn, this is a skill. You got to crawl before you walk, bro. And then you got to walk before you can run. So you start here. And if you really are about it, just like everybody else who works here, including me, who owns this shit, you will build up to the point where you could spray. But you're not going to start spraying tubs today, bro. It's not how it works.
And it becomes a goal of theirs. Like
Exactly.
I've watched my guys like evolve, where I'm like in the beginning they're like prepping, and then like, man, I want to spray, and then they spray that first thing and like they fucked it up, and I'm like, and then we start over, and then they spray one and they get it right, and they're like, oh shit, I did that. I'm like, how's that feel, bro?
Yeah.
You just did that shit.
Exactly.
You just created this masterpiece with your fucking hands. How do you feel? And they're like, I like that. It feels good to be good. It just feels like shit to not be good, and that's what turns away most guys. But
Most people.
once they get it down, I mean, it's really not that hard to keep them going.
Yeah, I had a general contractor last week. Yeah, I thought this took some balls. He called me and was like, yeah, how much to come up, do this fiberglass unit, whatever. It's not very close to town, right? It's out in the woods. I gave him a price. He comes back and he goes, I think I'm going to do this myself. What chemicals do you use? And I just told him I use top coat, right? But does he have a 5-stage turbine? Does he have a gun?
Yeah, no.
What's he going to do, roller glaze a whole fiberglass unit?
Yeah.
Like, is that going to look good?
Yeah, he already, well, or maybe he doesn't know. I would just be like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. But all right, good luck.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. I was just like, good luck. You're going to buy all the shit you need to do this job properly.
Yeah.
It's not going to be done
And spray.
properly. It takes experience to do this shit properly. You don't just walk into it.
People are crazy, man. But final thoughts, everybody. We got to wrap this up. It's almost 2 hours long, this one.
Yeah, how's it going? Employees, marketing.
Final thoughts?
Yeah, just thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. And I think I got some good nuggets on some things I need to do marketing-wise.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of homework to do.
Cool.
When I get back.
If you have questions, let me know on Instagram and all that stuff. I'll give you my number and everything. So,
Yep. Yeah. Just get our numbers and you can just text us, bro.
yeah, man.
It doesn't have to be a thing. We're always on this bathtub shit. Always 24/7. You can call us, text us.
Yeah, there's a few technical things I'd love to get some feedback from you guys. Maybe off.
Yeah.
air.
Yeah, let's go ahead and end it. Any final thoughts?
Thank you for coming out, and thank you for the knowledge on purchasing a refinishing business.
Yeah.
That was valuable for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
good. I could add something because you guys obviously know more about spraying than I do. So
I appreciate you coming out, brother. And hopefully we could do this again soon, man. It was a good
Sir.
time. All righty. Let's end it there.
You've been listening to the Bathtub Refinishing Podcast. If you liked what you heard, be sure to keep up with the Bathtub Guys on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, or visit BathTubGuys.com for more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.